Once upon a time, they lived a king who had 12 beautiful daughters. These 12 princes lived all together in a big, beautiful room. The king protected his daughters with his herds, and when they went to bed at night, he did not allow them to go out. But every morning they would wake up to something very strange. The shoes of the princess would all be worn out as if they had danced all night long. The king had to buy his daughters new shoes every day, but the following days, after the shoes just kept wearing out, neither the king nor this man in the castle could show the mystery of the shoes. How is this even possible? How can a pair of shoes worn out like in just one night? Your Highness, we can't understand. Finally, the king said, whoever shows the mystery of my daughter's shoes will get to marry whichever daughter of mine he chose, become my son-in-law, and get to be the king when I pass away. But he has 3 days and 3 nights to show it. Otherwise, he will spend his life in prison. Many young men in the kingdom and even princes from other kingdoms come to the castle for the job. For a day, they guard the room of the 12 princess' bedroom, but after some time, none of them could show the mystery. And shoes continued to wear out by night. Finally, a good-hearted young man also wanted to give it a shot, and so he made his way to the castle. On his way, he met a lanky old lady who looked very poor. My dear child, I'm very hungry. Would you be kind enough to give me a piece of bread? The young man gave all the food he had in his bag to the old lady. She was very happy because the previous man who had passed didn't give any to the old woman. The old woman knew that this one was different than the other, so in return, she gave him a magical cape. Take this magical cape. When you wear it, you will be invisible when it strikes 12 o'clock at night. Put the cape on, be invisible, and get in the princess' bedroom. This way, you can solve the mystery of the shoes. But be aware, do not bring what the princess says. If you know those nasty princess. The young man took the magic cape, went to the castle, and when he arrived, he said that he was there to show the mystery of the shoe. First day, he was keeping guard in front of the princess' room. The oldest princess came out with a glass of lemonade. You must be thirsty. You have prepared some lemonade for you. Please have some. The young man forgot about the old lady's morning and drank it. Soon after, he was very sleepy. He fell asleep, snoring all night in the room that they had prepared for him. When it was morning, the young man stood up in a panic. I was supposed to wear the magic cape and get in the princess' room. On the second night, the young man once again kept the guard in front of the princess' room. This time, another princess came out with a glass of juice in her hand. The young man was thirsty while keeping guard and waiting for the nightfall. Without thinking, he drank all the juice that had been given to him, and of course, he falls in love again.
Đâu phải
The
chết luôn.
next morning, when he woke up, he finally remembered the old lady's word. But be a word, do not drink what the princess give you. There must be a sleeping pill in the rings. The princess gave me at that moment. The king came next to him. Today have gone by. You still haven't solved the mystery of the shoe. If you cannot do it today, you will end up in the prisons and stay there for the rest of your life. The king finished his talk and went away. The young man had to solve this mystery today, that night. For the last time, the young man kept guard in front of the princess's door. This time, the young rich princess came out with an orange juice in her hand. But the young man was aware now. He took the glass, thanking the princess, and when the princess left, he poured the orange juice in a pot next to him. This time round he was standing tall. The night fell, and soon it was midnight. The young man put his cape on, and that moment he became invisible. Slowly he opened the door and could not believe what he was seeing. All of the princesses were wearing the most beautiful blonde gowns, hair and makeup done with their very new shoes. Let's see if the young man at the door has fallen asleep. One of the princesses opened the door and looked outside, and another princess put her ear on the wall. At that moment, the young man knew that he had to take some snorky noises. The oldest princess pushed her bed aside and clapped her hands 3 times. A secret passage opened in the palace of the bed. The young man could not believe his eyes. One by one, all the princesses walked inside, and of course, the young man followed. The secret passage was opening to a stairway which had hundreds of steps going down. When they were going down the stair, at one point a young man accidentally stepped on one of the princess's skirts. Oh, somebody stepped on my skirts. Nonsense, it was probably you. When the stair had finally finished, they came into the forest. They went past tall trees with beautiful silver branches. The young man took a branch and kept following the princesses. After another long walk, they stopped on the edge of the river. In the river, there were 12 boats in the shape of swans, and in there were 12 princes waiting for the princesses. They got on the boat, and the young man got on the last one. The boat seemed heavier than usual today, as if another person is on it. Strain! Oh, come on, stop streaming. When they crossed the river, they came across a big shiny castle, and they could hear music coming from inside. When he looked through the window, the young man saw many people dancing. As soon as they entered the castle, the princesses started to dance. They would never get tired and just kept on dancing. Of course, their shoes started to wear out. The young man could not bear his hunger anymore, so he took a slice of cake on the table and started to eat. The young princess saw this. Hey, my cake is floating, as if someone invisible is eating it. Come on, stop it. With this nonsense, the young man took a golden cup from the table without anyone noticing. The princesses then stood until the morning. Then they get on the boat across the river, walked to the forest, and walked up the very long staircase. And finally they came back to their castle, but their shoe was all worn out once again. The young man was very happy that he had finally solved the mystery of the worn-out shoes. A while later, the king came next to the young man. Our time is up today. Did you solve the mystery of the shoes? Yes, Your Highness, I did. And so he told him everything. The king didn't believe him at first, but when the young man showed him the silver branch and from the red forest, and the golden cup from the shining castle. The king knew he was telling the truth, and so he kept his promise and granted him the right to marry whichever princess he chose. The young man said that he wanted to marry the youngest ones. The 12 daisy princesses were clearly not happy because their spirit was out now. The young man and youngest princess got married and lived happily ever after.